dementia is a tragic act in disappearing. Nobody knows that it can be a lesson in living. I know this because 4.5 years ago, my dad was diagnosed with dementia. And 3 weeks ago, it was my turn to step up as his caregiver. My mom was headed out of town, and my father is now in a position where he forgets to change his clothes. He can't prepare food for himself anymore. And so it was my turn, you know. It was a treasured time. I was looking forward to it. I always look forward to spending time with my dad. And so I flew to Minneapolis, and it's bitterly cold. It's like -10. But it was a Wednesday, and I had a lot going on, you know. I had some work stuff. I was like trying to work remotely, which is stupid. And I'm just trying to do too much. I'm trying to like control all these different things at the same time. And it's, late afternoon. My dad has just come back from a walk. He loves to walk. And I see him, he's got a 6-pack of Miller Lite in his hands. And anybody that has ever had somebody with dementia probably knows that drinking in a cognitive disease is a terrible concoction. If he has one beer, it's like me having 12. And it's also happening at this kind of pivotal time in the day, which is known as like sundowning. It's typically in the late afternoon, early evening. And he gets confused, he gets anxious, he can't sit still, he needs a companion, he needs somebody to be with him, to reassure him. And so it's 3:45, and he's putting the beer in the fridge, and I have a call at 4, and I'm just like, man, I'm kind of fucked here. Because I know what's coming, because he says, oh, come on, it's party time. And I'm like, yeah, Dad, it's not party time. Can we wait? Like, I got a couple calls here. I'll be done at 6, and we can pick up then. So I make my way into the den. I take the calls. I'm winding down. I hear the turntable, and I hear the Doobie Brothers record, and I'm like, ooh, all right, it's kind of fun. But also, there's some shit on the other side of that door. I know it. And in hindsight, I wish I'd taken, 5 minutes to just kind of collect myself and prepare for what it was that I'm walking into. I didn't take those 5 minutes because I was also just like, I gotta get out there and like see what's up. And so I walk out, and he's singing, and that's kind of a beautiful thing, but I also know there's like a sinisterness to it. And it's just full on, man. He's had three beers, 3 16-ounce beers in less than 2 hours. And you need to know that my dad is like a really kind, reserved, respectful man. That's the man that I know. But he's not that way when I'm with him. Then he's regressed, and it's really hard in that moment to kind of separate the person from the disease, because you're just getting it all at once. But I'm like, all right, I'm gonna stick to my business here. I'm gonna make this nice dinner that I had planned to make for us. And so I'm preparing the food, and he's just kind of being mean, he's not my dad, he's somebody else. And I'm trying to plead with him to like not reach for another beer, and he's kind of nagging me. He's like, okay, mommy. And I'm just getting so upset, And there's this moment where I'm seasoning the asparagus. And behind me is the little side door, right off the kitchen. And I'm just like, man, I could just go. And I hate that I had that thought, you know. I fucking hate it. But it's true, it's honest. But I didn't go out that door. I made the food, I sat down, we had dinner. He even complimented me on the fish. And that whole time, the thing that got me through was like, if I could just get through to 8:30, you know, if I can just make it to 8:30, my dad will go to sleep, I'll get a moment, I'll find some peace, and tomorrow's a new day. And I made it, and I also had this realization, like, man, my mom is doing this every day. Every single day. And that really hit me, and that kind of segued into another, I think, more profound kind of reflection, which is this whole time, this whole disease, I'm trying to control things, you know, I'm trying to control his drinking, I'm tracking him on my phone, I'm trying to keep tabs on him, keep him safe. And it's like, control is a mirage, it's a myth. Surrender is really what I need to do. But I haven't wanted to surrender because to surrender means to accept. And I haven't wanted to accept that this is what's happening to my dad. And so he's taught me all these lessons about living, about finding light in darkness, about the conversation that is happening within the conversation. He's a teacher, and he can't tell me these things. He can't tell me stories that has this as like a lesson or something that he learned, but he's still finding a way to pass these on, and it's truly a gift. So I guess I didn't plan to say this, but this one's for you, Puffs.